share that I had closed my eyes and what I had seen was like thousands of women on one stage, which is not like super efficient, right? And there was one microphone. And I remember lying there thinking, okay, this dream, this vision that I'm having is not so good. It's not working. But even back then in like 2015, the Uncommon Woman movement was something that was always going to be that involved stages and other people speaking. Right? So I would tell people about that and they would say things like, do you have any idea how expensive it is to run a live event? Do you have any idea how expensive it is to create a documentary? Because I actually wanted it to be a live event where the documentary would be unveiled and the women in the documentary would speak. And I'm still putting that out there because I still believe that that's the perfect idea of what the Uncommon Woman is. But so people were telling me these things and I started believing it because it was easier for me to believe it than it was for me to take action. Because the action that I've had to take while I'm in it now, it's radical action and, keeps me up at night sometimes, right? But I realized that I couldn't, the Uncommon Woman movement would always be kind of handcuffed if it didn't involve stages, for the women who were part of the movement to speak on. So you and I were sitting at Earl's in Vancouver in January. And I think we got out like a white napkin or something and we kind of like wrote down the dates of the freaking Uncommon Woman tour on a napkin and it was official. I actually wish I had that. Right. Because like it's frameable. Because that was my business plan. And that's sometimes I feel like that still is my business plan. But that I just decided that it had to happen, that it wasn't about me anymore. And I think that one of the issues that so many people have in creating the work that they want to do with their life is that if you are thinking of your life work, it's always so much bigger than you think that you can handle, right?
Right.
Like I know that you have a massive vision.
Totally.
The Uncommon Woman is a massive vision.
It totally is.
Right. So we get these big visions and we think, okay, I'm just going to dummy it down a bit, right? Mm-hmm. Because I can handle that. Like that won't keep me up at night. Well, and so we do.
At the same time, I think the thing I said to you was like, Marlo, I've heard you talk about the Uncommon Woman for 2 years
3
now.
years. Yeah, exactly.
Either do something with it or shut the fuck up.
Who says that to their buddy? Like seriously.
Yeah. And
right?
you were like, oh, and you even cried.
I cried, yeah.
Right.
And I always cry when I talk about the Uncommon Woman. I have a hard time not getting choked up about it because it's something I'm so passionate about. I actually kind of in some weird way feel like it's my partner, my life partner.
Married to your mission.
Yeah. And, I have an incredible partner in my life and he's wonderful. But I feel like the Uncommon Woman movement, this mission has gotten so deep into my cells on like such a different level. And I can't imagine it not happening. If it didn't happen, it would just destroy me. And I've actually said to a few people, if anything was to ever happen to me, to the women who are speaking on the stages, please speak. Like, please have the event, even if it's in a church basement. Like, I just can't imagine this event not happening, because I can't imagine women not speaking up. Women who so desperately are like just chomping at the bit to get on those stages in the fall. And if that wasn't to happen, it'd be devastating for them, and for the people who need to hear their stories. So the Uncommon Woman movement is 4 stops. September 29th is Toronto. October 6th is Thunder Bay, my hometown. Mm-hmm. October 13th is Calgary, and October 20th is Vancouver. And I just threw it out there, and I just said, God, source, let's do this thing. Because if it's supposed to be a healing movement, then the people who need to be healed are going to show up. And it's just going to be so incredible. I'm so excited about it. And the women who are speaking on the stages are beautiful. You're one of my MCs. I have these beautiful, incredible MCs who are all on life missions. I just feel like I'm so surrounded by power. Mm-hmm. And anybody who comes to these events, they're going to be blown out of their seats. Even though it's an event that's built on our pain, because it kind of is, truly, everything about it is inspirational. There's inspirational music. There's a conversation between the speakers and the MC, which is really unusual for a live event. And there's also dialogue between the speakers and the people who are in the seats. And it's truly a living, breathing event. The event itself is like a being, it's a dialogue, whole day dialogue of inspirational stories. And humans are storytellers. And for many, many years, what's happened is we've stopped telling stories. And I think it's one of the reasons why so many cultures are suffering, right? Because the storytelling stopped and the legacies weren't passed down. And we're coming back to that now. You know, human experience
Absolutely.
is more powerful than any freaking Google search, you know?
Well, I'll tell you that I feel that the energy in these rooms is going to be so incredibly powerful.
Right.
So if somebody is out there and they're like, I I want to surround myself with incredible energy and raise my vibration, you should be at one of these events then.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. 100%.
Yeah.
And, I think, I can't remember who it is. I think it's Gabby Bernstein, or I can't remember who it is. Somebody says, create what it is that you want, right? Create whatever it is that you want in your own life. And so I created these events solely on what I needed and wanted back in 2011. Really, I would have gone to this event if it had existed. I would have gone. If it was in my hometown, I would have gone because I desperately needed something. I was at a loss,
Well, and we as, divine feminine leaders need to gather and need to share story and need to lift up those of us who need a little bit of a hand up.
Yep.
Right? I remember a story about a pot of crabs. And as the crabs are kind of crawling over each other to get out of the pot, one crab kind of gets their claw on the edge of the pot and then reaches down and grabs another crab.
Yeah.
And that's what you do by showing up at events like this, because not everybody's going to be in the place to lift another up.
Absolutely.
But through that communal energy, we can do that. And that's how we rise as feminine leaders.
Yep. 100%. 100%.
Be the crab.
Be the crab. Don't be crabby. Just be a crab.
Don't be
Not
crabby.
To get
Be the
confused with
crab.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a beautiful. Yeah. That's a great analogy because, and other crabs could be crawling over you, but there's always going to be somebody who needs your help. Right. And I saw this quote the other day. It was great. Somebody said, ask your strong friend how she's doing.
Right.
Yeah. I was like, oh my God.
I sometimes think that, right? I'm like, what about me?
Right.
Somebody needs to ask about me.
Right, exactly. And that's what we're supposed to be doing with one another, right? And we're also supposed to be giving opportunities to each other to say, here, here's a healing time, here's a ticket, here's an event. I want you to just go and not be part of it. I just want you to go. Yeah. I just want you to be present, right? Yeah. Just do the healing. Yeah.
Do the
Lots
healing.
of stuff. Yeah.
It needs to be done. It's time.
Yeah, absolutely. And, I feel like I wouldn't be able to do this event. I wouldn't be able to run this event. I wouldn't be able to go into this event with a really clear conscience if I had all kinds of money junk hanging over my head.
No. You would self-sabotage.
Yeah, that's right. And so I feel really healthy going into it. I'm not overextending in this event. I'm staying really within my budget. And I'm being very smart and I'm doing what I can and to make it a beautiful event, but I'm not trying to make it be like the largest event of the century, and because when we do things like that, we get ourselves way over our head. And so I've just decided to not do that. And it feels really, I think that's why I'm not losing a ton of sleep. I've lost some sleep, but not much,
Yeah.
I lose more. I lose more sleep about things like if I get up on stage and I fall out of my shoes, or what if the microphones don't work? Like this is the stuff that you think about,
What if the timer's wrong?
What if the timer's wrong? What if nobody can get in, or the guys that open the doors don't show up, like they're hungover? You think about these things and you think, oh my God, right?
Right.
But it's all going to be fine. I don't think that could possibly happen because it's just too aligned.
It's going to be awesome. I can't wait.
Thank you.
So tell us the dates again.
So October, it starts in Toronto on September 29th, and it ends in Vancouver on October 20th.
Great.
Yeah.
Be there or
be there.
be square, I think.
Yes.
And how do people get tickets?
At theuncommonwoman.com, and
Okay.
there's a sales page right now. There's a link to buy tickets, but that's about all it is. It's got a write up. It's got it tells you who the speakers are. But there is going to be a brand new, beautiful sales page up in the next few days that will really give you a much deeper idea of what this event is truly about. But if you're listening to this, you have an idea. But I'm more than happy for people to reach out to me and say, can you tell me a little bit about the event? Like, I'm not going to jump on a phone call most likely, but I can certainly throw somebody a message and say, here, But
Totally.
It's just going to be a beautiful event, and I have total faith that it will change lives and save souls.
It absolutely will.
Yeah.
And I can't wait. And I'm pretty funny as an MC, so
You're going to rock it. I'm so excited. Exactly. Yeah, totally.
And I may just show up in Toronto just to hang out with my bestie, Marlo.
Yeah, I hope so.
Right?
I would love that. Yeah, the beginning and the end. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Marlo, for joining us tonight. I know it's late over in Thunder Bay, so I appreciate that.
Yeah. It's bath time. Thank you so much for having me. It's always such a pleasure chatting, and I feel like I had some some other things were uncovered. It's a constant dialogue, right? So it's always great to have these conversations. It totally is.
An ever-evolving story.
That's right.
Awesome. So everybody, tune in Mondays at 6 p.m. PST to Money Rockstars. I am here every week sharing conversations about conscious money and co-creating your new reality with the universe. See you next week.
Bye.
I can do anything. I can reach any goal today. I can do what I want. I can be what I want to be.
Coach on Fire Radio.